like a painting.
Yeah.
You gotta squint to appreciate it.
There's a lot of work that went into that.
What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Piston Productions, and on today's episode we're hanging out with Rich from Deboss Garage and the Quatro Deboss, which is a quad turbo LS powered Audi Quatro that still maintained its all-wheel drive. We worked on this a little while ago before Rich went off to race it at the Rob Ferretti challenge or whatever YouTuber challenge. So that is what we're gonna get ourselves into today. If you guys haven't seen this, you can also check out when Rich brought this out, ice racing. Oh yeah, look at that. I'm on it. This thing is an absolute monster. There is the turbo system that's in the back. So I don't know exactly what we're gonna get into today, but Rich has to have this bad boy back up and running for, I guess it is September for LS Fest. He's got a ton of parts to go in from Holley, some Turbo Smart stuff, just an absolute, there's just so much stuff to go into this thing still. You know, I mean, this was really only rendition 1. But yeah, crazy, crazy car. One day he will let me drive this, whether he knows it or not. But that is what we're gonna get into today. We're gonna start tearing this thing back down and then go from there. Hi, Rich.
How's it going?
Good, man. All right, so where you left off? Like last time we saw this, it was well, covered in coolant, but happens.
What happened with coolant?
was it a frost plug?
Right, yeah.
That's the last time I saw it was online. I guess I saw it in the winter.
So this is our 1991 LS swapped 4-turbo Audi all-wheel drive Quattro with 420,000 on it, and this was my second attempt at an LS swap. And if you haven't seen it, check out the earlier videos. But in doing so, in taking the 2 turbos and putting it on here, we made a lot of mistakes. So we can go over those mistakes. A very good learning curve. What we did was we put an engine in the front, but the Audi engine sits in front of the entire front axle, so it's very front heavy. So we moved everything to the back. Rad, intercooler, all the pumps, everything as far back as possible to get our weight 50-50 as close as we can. And we ended up with 57.43.
Which is insane.
Which I'm pretty proud of, but our biggest issue was when we were on the Daytona track was we were ripping on the corners, and the water pump has this little press-in plate at the back of the water pump, and it popped off. So to fix that, we got electric water pump that we're actually sticking in the back of the car. So I have to make new fittings on the engine that come down, and we're just gonna put a water pump in the back.
Nice.
Yeah, fuel management was terrible. I thought the tank was vented, it's not. So the best we could ever do was about 15 minutes of running before we had too much vacuum in there.
I was just gonna say,
Yeah, we already pulled the engine because we had issues getting it to shift. And that was because my machinist messed up on little bushings that he put in a twin disc clutch, and it was actually on an angle. So we've got that fixed, but this was all stuff that we did kind of at the very end, and it doesn't look too terrible. But we spoke to Holley, and we got a full sponsorship from Holley for a Dominator setup, so all new engine management and boost control. So I think we're gonna strip the car right back down again.
Lovely.
And start over.
One more time for the second time.
Yeah, not really. I got another deadline. That's how I work.
Yeah.
But, so the mechanics of the car itself, all the fabricating, that's all fine.
Proof of concept.
All the stuff that we rushed in the last little bit, but I have to lighten the car as much as possible to get it back on the rotisserie. I think I'm gonna put it back on the rotisserie just because the drains for the turbo, the feed lines for the turbo, the fuel pumps, all of that's going to get redone.
It's all plumbed underneath.
And it's a pain in the ass to get it on the hoist because it's so low. So, and I kind of want to keep my hoist. So the GTO is off of the rotisserie now. So I think we'll throw it back on the rotisserie.
So tear it down, get it light, and see if we can hook it up.
Pick it up with the forklift, because I did pick it up. I got all runners on the bottom, and I thought I'd pick it up with the forklift when it was all heavy, and I folded a couple of
Oh,
runners.
fun.
Learning a lot as we go.
Yeah, you don't know until you try.
Yep, that's right.
Nice.
So, yeah, we'll get rid of this Audi clone. We don't need that.
Oh, come on.
It's a couple pounds there.
Yeah.
And yeah, here we go.
There you go. All right, so engine loom's out. There's much less wiring in here, just the starter wire. So Holly stuff can now fit in. So yeah, it's not too bad. What's the plan now?
The plan is to pull the transmission.
Lovely.
Which is actually really easy because I designed this car from scratch. So if you pull out the shifter cover,
yeah,
you can get at the drive shaft. So you
okay.
pull the drive shaft. The two front axles are nicely right here. You just kind of like walk in, and then you just put your seat where the engine would be, and then you just undo those. And then there's two bolts that mount it down, and you just pick it right up. It's not that heavy, and away we go.
This is where we cut to time lapse of Rich struggling. Oh, someone hold my hernia.
I'm bleeding.
All right, it was as easy as you said it was.
It's not that bad.
No, it's not.
The whole car, you can disassemble the whole car except for the diff from the top of the car. Like you don't have to crawl underneath. Yeah. So the skid plates. Yeah.
Look at that job. That's so messed up. Watching you make that made me cringe. And I'm like, oh my god! And then it worked, and I was like, okay.
So we started the car about a week before. When were you here? I was
here for like final push. I like put on the splitter and shit.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
At that point, I never drove the car yet.
No.
No.
You started it and ran it.
Yeah, and there was still a bunch of stuff to do. It wasn't until 2 days before we left that I actually put it in gear and moved it. And it's like, either it moves or it doesn't, and that determines whether we show up or not.
That's a good point.
It went nice and smooth into gear, and then like I let go of the clutch and it started moving. I'm like, we are going! And I never had it in second gear. There was like a foot of snow on the driveway. I never had it in second gear in Canada before we did the half mile.
That's crazy.
Yeah, and
that's not too bad.
A lot of oil.
Yeah.
A lot of oil. So what was leaking was the valley pan. On the top, it had the cylinder cutout.
Oh, okay.
And I chopped all of them off, and one of them was like dripping.
Oh.
And then the turbos were leaking. The return on the turbos were leaking. So I had oil at the front and oil at the back, which was kind of a pain.
Yeah, it's alright.
I guess the garden hose thing was not the greatest idea.
Yeah, I kind of like that idea though. Easy coupling.
At that time.
It worked.
I wouldn't have done that again. I would have done everything else the same, but I definitely wouldn't have done the garden hose thing. Don't do that.
Don't do that at home.
Falls on its roof.
Before it falls on us. Inside the making of Deboss Garage.
This is behind the scenes, right? Yeah. Was this a bad idea? Should we take this car? So I had this car, and so we're putting the car, getting it ready for the rotisserie. I'm trying to remember. I know that once we welded the cage in there, it got a little bouncy on the rotisserie. So now we've got the differential and some hoses and fluids.
Can you see it or you want me to guide you? Good. Yeah. Touching the side skirt. Hover car! That's not too bad. No, not teabag.
No. Pull the tires and the rims and...
Cool. Where did I put that impact? There you go. Oh, so this is the rotisserie. Yeah. This doesn't look sketchy at all. What are you talking about?
Because it's homemade. So there's a nut. There's a nut on the top and on the bottom here, so that keeps the thing from going up and down.
Okay.
And I think the nut broke on the other one, so
all right.
The GTO was on it, and I was upside down, and then all of a sudden the car just dropped to till it hit this upside down, and my heart just sank because the whole roof was like an inch off the whole thing. Yeah, so she got a little bit of a weld on it.
But like, it seems to be.
It needs to go higher. It needs to go higher, yeah.
Oh, that's a weird feeling.
Oh, that sucks. Yeah, I got a ways to go.
Yeah.
Oh no, it's heavy.
It looks heavy. You could lube that up a bit.
I need a break. It's way too hot.
Hey, so car is now ready to be basted and slowly roasted for the next 6 to 8 hours.
I just need to crank this. Let's see. That's about 6 inches. That's only about 30
Oh,
times.
that's the rod that goes through it.
Yeah, yeah. It's just
Okay.
threaded rod, top to bottom.
Oh.
And it's just on a, it's on a bolt or a nut. I grab the fork with it. And just grab it.
Yeah. So it's sitting a little rear biased heavy. I gotta zip tie those calipers, but we'll get that leveled out, and then you guys can see the underside of this because it is where all the magic is. That.
Let's work on it like this.
There you go. It's like a painting.
Yeah.
You gotta squint to appreciate it.
There's a lot of work that went into that. So the theory was to keep the exhaust hot. I've had people tell me not to wrap it, but we're definitely gonna wrap it this time.
Yeah.
Turbos work on not, everybody thinks that's the air moving through the turbo that makes it spool.
Heat
It's
expansion.
actually the heat expansion. So my theory was to block, all I did was basically put a runner on either side of the exhaust to try and keep that hot and keep the airflow off of it. So there's a full skid plate front to back. It curls up at the back here, it's got a nice diffuser. And basically we tried to keep the weight down as well. So we're gonna get rid of the entire fuel. These are the fuel lines, turbo feed lines, return lines, all that fun stuff. These are the turbo drains going to the scavenge pumps. All of that's gonna get redone. We are going to add the compressor and fuel pump. All of that is gonna be low. Keep the weight though low. We'll probably add a torsion bar to the rear end at some point. And
Who knows what that was?
right, and we have to just clean up the bottom a little bit. We had some oil spillage here, and that was all the turbos at the front and the engine at the back. So this runner I hit with the, we went sideways in the dirt at Daytona without the skid plate on. We would have been okay with the skid plate on. I think I got to rebuild that one, and I just did this one now with the forks because I'm an idiot.
Oh, that's all right.
Yeah, I'll just bend it back. Not a huge deal.
What diff is that?
That is the stock torsion diff that was in there.
Wow,
Yeah.
man.
That was one of the things we did not have the cash for. I did rebuild it. I put all new seals in it. Checked the bearings out. I think I replaced the bearings that were easy to get at, but they still, it's still just a stock torsion rear end. So we're, the transmission was built for 800 foot-pounds of torque. We're not going much above that. We never will actually, because I don't think the rest of the car can handle it. We'll button up some stuff here and start replacing the importance. So I built most of the car, 80% of the car when I was building it was on the rotisserie upside down.
Nice.
So a lot of work into this, yeah. But happy to see that the exhaust was still getting nice and hot.
Yeah. Shows there was heat going to the turbos.
Yeah.
I mean, these pipes show it as well.
Yeah. So.
You put your wastegate properly in line.
Yep.
As the river flows.
Yep. That's right.
Yeah.
And then.
Big mistake people make.
Yeah. It doesn't do a whole lot.
No.
So we've got different Turbo Smart wastegates, and basically we're pulling all these lines off again, and then go from there.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully I'll be around for that part.
Yeah.
We'll see.
He's not gonna be around.
Nah, I won't be around for
We're
that.
done. Pulling that skid plate off. And
I've put in my day.
putting his time for the day. Oh yeah, all new coolant lines. We're gonna go to that electric water pump.
That's a good idea.
That at the back somewhere too.
Yep.
Probably right here, so that when the drive shaft blows apart,
it takes out everything.
It'll just like destroy everything. Yeah. So the coolant lines, the fuel lines. You know, I think we'll put it right over here.
Be nice is like some big dash 20 fittings to flex line. Don't worry, those dash 20 fittings are only like 80 bucks each. So.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's super cheap. And then you run flex line, dash 20 braided steel line.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and then it's just AN fittings to take them off. Although worm screw clamps work pretty well.
It didn't leak.
Didn't leak. Yeah.
The water pump blew apart before the lines blew apart.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah. Keep it simple, stupid.
Yep.
That's crazy. And how old's this car again?
91. 420,000 kilometers on it.
This car is almost as old as I am.
And it's in fantastic shape. Like it's solid. When it's on the rotisserie, when we had it on the rotisserie before, and the doors were still on, the doors still closed.
Flush?
Flush. It didn't flex at all, except for when we started adding all the parts to it. So once we added the roll cage and the diff, then it was starting to, it didn't line up as nice.
You got a little bit of wire or tire rub issues there, but
that was the in the winter we put way too big a tire on.
Yeah,
so we got a nice little Pro. I think that tire was like a full 2 inches bigger. Top of it, where the ladder's rubbing up.
Yeah, the winter tires.
It was 1.5 inches bigger, and it was horrible noise. Just.
That's my one regret from that day, is not going out with you in it. But, yeah, whatever.
We'll take you out.
We'll find some time.
Never drifted an all-wheel drive car?
I haven't, but it should happen. Once this thing's getting like tip top.
We'll do it in the rain first at Toronto Motorsports.
That's a good idea. That would be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
That's crazy. All right, guys, make sure to check out everything Deboss Garage. Rich, right there. I'm sure there'll be a little box. We're done here today. Super happy to be able to come out, lend my hand for my limited ability. But yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Make sure to hit the little buttons and stuff. Check out the Patreon. We do early access to all of our videos, as well as an extra podcast a week. So check all that shit out, and we'll catch you guys next time.